about that lake. Now here's Lake Wisconsin. This is an artificial lake. It's built, I don't know when it was built, it's a big thing. And in this, the things to be mapped were about 6 of them. Here's a ferry and here's a railroad. There was a place that you just about run out of the channel deep water up through here, but there's one spot right there. Then right here on this point right here was a nice spot. Back in this bay was another. The main bar and bars and things is the Moon Bay area. This right here. There was a bar that went plumb across there, and it had fingers into the channel. What a fantastic place. This was a good spot. Here. Now here's one here down close to the dam. Johnny Bowie is sitting in the building, I think, and the last time I think I fished this quite a few years ago with Johnny, we found him on this bar right here. You remember that story, don't you? We really popped them, the walleyes. When we first started fishing this thing, it was quite a good bass in northern. Then it got into, just changed over to walleyes, and the bass kind of disappeared. This is way back. In 57, 58, something in there. And then it got so full of walleye that they started shrinking. But there back in the 57s, 58s in that area, huge walleyes, lots of them. I could tell a story. Let me tell one story. We were again on this lake. Terry and we were promoting in Milwaukee to a fellow, and Terry was doing the fishing for him, and he became an expert right fast because he understood what he read. Anyway, he pretty soon after Terry and I had done all the work with this rascal, he decided, telling all his buddies, well, I'm going to take over. We're going to get rid of Buck Perry, and Terry O'Malley, I'm going to take over. So we heard, I don't know whether Terry was with me or some other guy was with me, but I heard this fella was going to go to this lake. And right there's the launching area. And he was going to have a talk with a bunch of cronies. He was going to tell them how to fish this lake. I heard about it, so well, I don't know, Terry, whether you were along or not. I think you were, weren't you? This is a little naughty, so I hope you'll excuse me for this. So we were sitting out there, and we heard him. He had his gang around him. He's over there talking, and he says, now, you be sure that if you touch the lure, you want to wash it. You want to wash your hands before you put the lure on. And anytime you have to change lures, wash your hands good before you put it on. Now, we sat there and listened to that garbage until we was blue in the face. So I got tired of it. They could hear us, so I'll say that it was you, Terry. And I think it was. Anyway, I turned to Terry and I said, well, it's about time to go fishing. And Terry said, yeah, it's time to go fishing. And I said, okay, you wash your lure now. You wash your lure in gasoline, and I'll leak on mine. I'll take a leak on mine. And we did right there in front of those guys. And we beat the tar out of them. You know that man, don't you, Terry? Yeah. I thought you'd do it. Let's look at the Moon Valley area because it's got a long break line and a long hump in it too. That's this one right here. And there's Moon Valley area. So we look at it, and what we're going to do, we're going to go up and look at it this way. Up in here, looking this way. Here's the Moon Valley. Now this break line, this bar came out around, and all those fingers, man, with the walleyes were on them. Originally there's a bass on them, but then when we were there, it was mostly that. Here is how many times I anchored right there and limited out on walleyes casted. Fabulous lake. It was very easy, and you see what Terry did with that thing. He put where the walleyes come up, he had a heavy brush ran in here, he had to be careful, and he just did this all over. Here's walleye here, brushy, but you could get by the brush. Now over on the other side of the lake is, it was that one right this entrance, this bay. That X right, that question mark right there. Now the thing I want to, all those brake lines, you can see the walleyes, the hard bottoms, and clean, the double brake lines, and how it broke. You had a little ridge out there, a little long ridge that was 12 feet deep and so on, and then you had a little channel going there. It was just a lot of stuff here. What I want to point out to you here on this particular map, and we spend a lot of time on this map with students, he says, make this trolling run for big walleye left side of the exposed tree. Here's his trolling run. Right there. And when he hit right there, there they were. Now he'll never forget that. From now on, that was his map. Told the whole story. You may not want to put all these in, all those depths, but it's nice to say there's 15, 16, 17 feet on top of here. But in our classroom, we had to put them all because they couldn't visualize it. They were greenhorns. So we had to put the detail. He had to put detail. And I think if you see what he's done, you'll agree with me that Terry was some mapper boy.